Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Talk Tottenham here with your host, Tom. Um, Giving you guys pre match prediction for tomorrow's big match against Everton at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Yeah, guys, I want to give you my predicted lineup, talk to you a little bit about the importance of this game, and it's an opportunity tomorrow for Spurs to get back into the top four actually, because Manchester City are not playing. I think their game's been postponed because obviously they're playing out in the World Club Cup or whatever it's called, that competition overseas. So it'd be a big opportunity for Spurs. Guys, the eagle-eyed of you may have noticed that I didn't put up a post-match um, review of Spurs' latest win away at City. The truth is, guys, is that I wasn't actually able to watch that game. So I didn't really feel as though I was in a position to give a match reaction. Of course, I watched the highlights and saw the goals. Um, it's actually the only game I've missed from Spurs this season. I was actually pantomime, believe it or not, watching Cinderella with my partner, which was a great night. Enjoyed that as well. But obviously, sad to have missed the Spurs game. But happy that Spurs were able to pick up the 3 points in what was a tough game. I thought we did well to come through that one, but obviously, you know, losing Basuma, it's just unbelievable that he's now got a four-match ban for a silly challenge. I mean, I don't really know how much contact he's made there with the Forest player, to be honest, but it just seems that you just can't go in for those high challenges anymore. Yeah, I understand why, but I don't know. On first viewing, I didn't think it was as bad as people are saying it was, but them's the rules. And we won't see Basuma now for, I don't know. People are saying that he won't be back now until like end of Jan, maybe even February. I guess because he goes off to the AFCON. We're gonna miss him. Sonny's off to the Asian Cup. So it's like it's just going to be the story of our season, I think, isn't it? With just players missing and trying to battle through. So along with Basuma, we haven't got Udogi tomorrow as well. Although good news that Lo Celso, and just done his presser, Lo Celso should be back. Brennan Johnson is fit and able to come in, which is great. So yeah, it is a big game tomorrow. We need to, try and make it 3 wins in a row. But we're probably playing Everton actually at the worst time that we could be playing them, because they're actually in an incredible run of form. I think somebody told me that they've actually won their last 5 away games in the league. They've certainly won their last 4 in a row. But yeah, I think it's 5 that they've won away from home. So we're going to have to be at our best, I think, to be winning tomorrow. And it just complicates things with the fact that Basuma and Udogi are out. And not to mention, we're obviously still missing Van der Ven and Maddison and Solomon and Perisic. But other than that, I think we've I don't want to say we've been lucky with injuries, but in the last 3 to 4 weeks, we've been okay. We haven't seemed to have picked up too many. So, guys, let's move on to the predicted lineup for tomorrow's game. Obviously, naturally, there's going to have to be a few changes. So, Big Vic in goal, Vicario to start. What a performance that was against Forest, by the way. I love that clearance that he made right at the end with his feet. Incredible clearance. And their striker must have thought he'd scored with that header. But yeah, Vicario with a brilliant save. And I think he's just given the whole defence more confidence, and we've got more confidence in goal now than we ever did really with Hugo. So Vicario in goal, back four, Pedro Porro, who pretty much been an ever present, I think, other than the first game of the season when Emerson played. But Porro to come in at right back. I can't speak highly enough of Porro this season. He's just been so consistent, is the word. And I saw in the week that Harry Kane, I think, had actually got Spurs' Player of the Year for 2023. When you consider he hasn't even been a Tottenham player for the whole of the year, but I guess it's the work that he did in the first half, and probably also a thank you as well from the club and the fans. I'm not actually quite sure who voted for that one. I think it might have been the fans. But yeah, probably fitting that maybe Kane did get the trophy. But if it wasn't Kane, to be honest, I would be putting Pedro Porro as my Player of the Year for Tottenham. I think he's been that good, because we did actually see. Well, Porro joined, didn't he, last January? And after a shaky spell, I thought he was actually starting to get his act together towards the end of last season. But I think it's this season that I've just been particularly impressed with him. Let's move on to the centre-backs. No reason to change it. These two are playing really, really well at the moment. Christian Romero and Ben Davies. Now, I want to start with Davies, because this is a guy who has copped a lot of flack from the Spurs fan base, and I'll hold my hands up, and I've said that I've probably over the last 4 years I've given Ben Davies a bit of a rough time as well. But you really have to, those people that have said that have to really sort of put their hands up now and say, look, I got it wrong. Davies has been putting in some really, really good performances for a while now, to be honest. I think he's been decent ever since Ange came in. He obviously got that goal at the start of the season against Man United, but it's obviously his defending which sets him apart. He's just so composed on the ball. It's the timing of his tackles. He always does the right thing. I think we're seeing really, really good performances now from Davies, and I'm just so pleased, because I love to see someone in any club, to be honest, but particularly Spurs, who receiving a rough time from the fans, to come back. It shows a lot of mental strength to come back and be putting in these performances. I'm really, really pleased. And yeah, Christian Romero, last couple of games he's back in the team. No surprises that we've picked up the 2 wins. I think Romero just gives us that composure. He plays the game at his own pace. Probably gives everyone a lift, and just knowing that we've got him back there, a World Cup winner. I think those two are really, really doing well for Tottenham at the moment, and long may it continue. And I don't know when Van de Ven is back, but I don't see any reason to change that defensive duo in the meantime. Now, onto the left back position with Destiny Udogie out. We haven't really got many options, especially with Perisic injured as well. So I don't particularly feel comfortable putting him in this position, but I don't see anyone else who can play in this role on Saturday. And so Emerson Royal will probably get the nod from Ange and from me. Emerson is a bit of an enigma. I think he has been okay this season. Most of the time we've seen him coming on, but I sort of cast my mind back a little bit to, was it the Chelsea match? I think it was the Chelsea match when he kind of got tackled in the middle of the midfield. I mean, to be honest, I think we were always going to lose that game in the end anyway when we were down to 9. But yeah, I don't know. Emerson he still makes me very nervous at the back. I think he played in the Villa game as well when he actually came in and played centre back in that role, and I think actually he did pretty okay playing the ball out from the back. But left back, probably feel more comfortable with Emerson at left back than I do centre back. But clearly he's not the ideal player that I would be wanting to play in this position. And probably Everton are gonna target him. But at the end of the day, I'm very, very happy to see anyone turn around their career at Tottenham, and Emerson has definitely done that. So that'll be my back five with Vicario in goal, Porro, Romero, Davis, and Emerson. Onto the midfield. First man in there will be Pat Matasar, who I think has been brilliant this season and did really, really well in the last match. Well, I didn't see the Forest match, but I saw him in the Newcastle match, and I thought he was our player of the match in that game. I love his energy. When Sarr plays, he seems to give Tottenham another dimension, another string to our bow. I don't know what it is. I just think it's just his enthusiasm, and he gets the ball, he gives it, he gets around the pitch, he gets his foot in, and I'm just really, really pleased with Sarr and his development this season. And I think we've got a hell of a player on our hand, and he just needs to just find that little bit more consistency from me that we saw at the start of the season. But he's got all the talent there, and long may it continue. So next to Sarr, obviously it would have been Basuma. So we've got a bit of a dilemma in this one now. So the candidates that could play next to Sarr, you could put Højbjerg in there. You could also put Oliver Skip in there as well. But I'm actually gonna go for Gio Lo Celso, who was injured, wasn't he, for the Forest game? But I feel like he deserves a chance in this game, and I feel like at home to Everton, I feel like we're probably gonna have the lion's share of the possession, and for that reason, I feel like we need people in there with creativity who can unlock an Everton rearguard, which, let's be honest, guys, they've really improved in recent weeks. I'm really surprised by the way of how things have turned around for Everton, particularly with the points deduction. Fair play to them, because they've basically just stuck two fingers up to that, and have moved on and upwards. So good on I say good on Everton. Obviously tomorrow, I won't be saying that. I'll be wanting the points, but credit is where credit's due. But anyway, so back to the lineup. Gio and Pat Matasar in the midfields in that double pivot. On the right, Brennan Johnson. Want to be seeing him get more minutes. It was a real shame that he took that blow to the head so early on in the game at Forest, but Johnson's really been at it. I thought he was electric in the Newcastle game. I want to see him out on that right hand side. He looks more comfortable there, and I've got a sneaky suspicion that he's going to be getting on the score sheet tomorrow. I really do. I think he's a real threat, and no left back is going to be wanting to mark Brennan Johnson. That's for sure. Not with his pace. Johnson on the right. In the middle, it's the man of the moment, isn't it? I did say, didn't I? I said to I was talking about my player of the match, particularly in the Forest game. It would have been Kulu. It had to be Kulu in that game, because he's just got he's so comfortable running with the ball, bringing us forward, motoring up the pitch, and what a cross that was for Richarlison, by the way. It was like a kind of a mix between a floated cross, but there was also a lot of pace on that ball in as well. So all Richie had to do really was just get up for it and nod it in. But we're starting to see now, aren't we, guys? We're starting to see those sort of performances from Kulu that we saw when he first arrived. Was it January 2022? I think it was. So he's been at Spurs now for a couple of years. Just absolutely loving these performances by Kulusevski. He looks just so threatening when he's coming forward. You just don't know what he's going to do. But now we're starting to see more end products. We're seeing goals, we're seeing assists, and this is just really, really pleasing to see. And I really hope that we see more performances from him in the next few weeks, because we're going to need it. Next to Kulu, on that left-hand side, Heung-min Son. Sonny should have scored in that first sort of 3 or 4 minutes in that game at Forest. I was surprised that he didn't, because he loves getting those ball. Usually you see that whipped ball into the far corner from Sonny, but just shot obviously straight at Turner that time. But I don't mind seeing Sonny in that left-hand role, to be honest. What I'm really pleased about now is that we're starting to see him taking on his man. We didn't see that for a few years, but I'm sure Ange has probably had a word in his ear and said to him, look, you've got all the ability, you've still got your pace. Stop cutting inside. Take your man on, frighten that defender. And we're now starting to see that. And he did that in the Newcastle game. I want to see him do it more often, because he's got a hell of a delivery, and if he wants to, he can do it by himself anyway and take it past the last defender and pop it in himself. So yeah, Sonny on the left, and then the big man up top, target man, number 9, number 10, probably number 9 you would say in this game, Richie boy will get the nod for me. And 3 and 3, I'm backing him to score in this game as well. I am. I think he will get on the score sheet and make it 4 and 4, and it will just be so good for him, just so good for his confidence if he can. So yeah, Richarlison to play up top. I'm not saying that Richarlison's there yet. I think we're going to have to see this on a more regular basis, but scoring in consecutive games was a big deal for him. And so really, really pleased to see Richie finally starting to turn his Spurs career around. He's another one who has had a lot of doubters and could have easily have completely folded. And but I think there's still room there. Richie's shown us, hasn't he, that he's still knocking about. And if you look at goal involvements over the whole season, I think he's up to about 7 when you include assists and goals. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad when you consider that he won't have started all of those games either. He's probably only started half. That's actually pretty good. So yeah, we're definitely seeing a better Richarlison this season than we did last. That wasn't hard, because he had an absolute nightmare last season. But yeah, I think if Richarlison can score 12 goals by the end of the season, I think that would be what he needs to target. So if he targets 12, he only needs 9 more for the rest of the season. 9 more in about sort of 18 games, I think is doable. I really do. So guys, that's my lineup. Let's just go through that one more time. Vicario in goal, Porro, Romero, Davis and Emerson in the back line. Pat Matasar and Lo Celso in that double pivot, with Johnson, Kulusevski and Son playing behind Richarlison. If that's the lineup, I'm going to be going for a 3-1 win to Tottenham. I think Brennan Johnson's going to score. I think Kulusevski's going to score. And I think Richarlison's going to score. Guys, let me know your score prediction. Do you agree with my lineup? Do you think he might play it a bit safer with Højbjerg or Skip in the midfield? If Emerson doesn't play left back, who else would you play? Would you maybe put Ben Davis out there and bring someone else in like Dyer? I can't see that, to be honest. But let me know. It would just be so good by tomorrow tea time to be seeing Tottenham back in the top 4, and hopefully Liverpool and Arsenal can draw their game, which would just bring us closer to the top. So guys, look out for my post-match review from the game tomorrow afternoon. It will definitely be coming this time. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Do like this video, Appreciate all your support this year, guys. And as always, come on, you Spurs.